the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor. Michelle and Catano.
Okay, are you the grandmother of Cornelius Franklin and Amari Franklin?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are they?
They are now 14 and 11.
Okay, and do they reside with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did they come live with you?
They've been living with me since the end of 2017, beginning 2018.
Okay, and how did they come to live with you rather than either one of the parents?
They had lived with their mother and CPS got called on her, so they placed me with the children due to the situations.
Okay, and do you know where the mother currently is?
She was incarcerated, but she is now at a facility where she has to remain for a whole year.
Okay, is she allowed to work at that facility, do you know?
As far as I know, I don't know any of the circumstances she has to go through.
Okay. And was she incarcerated from July of 2023 to January of 2025?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. During the times she was not incarcerated and you've had the children, has she paid you any child support?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any reason that your address, phone number, and other personal information should not be in the court order where the father, Mr. Franklin, or the mother would have access to that information?
Yes, I would rather the father not have my address due to some circumstances that him and the mother, my daughter Heaven, had in the past, and that they had had a court order of restraining due to assault and battery and stuff like that. So
okay, so there was an issue and your daughter had a prior restraining order against them or something like that?
yes.
Okay. And do you believe that Mr. Franklin, knowing the children's whereabouts, might put you or the children in danger either physically or emotionally?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Now, there is already a child support order regarding the father, Keon Franklin, from the state of Iowa. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that order was the order originally ordered him to pay child support to the mother, but the state of Iowa has obtained an order redirecting that support to you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, does Mr. Franklin still live in Iowa?
As far as I know, I believe so.
Okay. And do you know what kind of facility Heaven is currently in? Is it like a drug rehab facility or something?
Yeah, whole house, but I believe so, like I said, yes.
Ms. Catano, can you turn off the video on your camera to see if maybe we can't get a better connectivity?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can you repeat your answer?
Yes, I believe she's in a facility rehab center.
Okay. But you don't know if she can work while she's in there or not.
Ms. Catano, if you answered the question, can you repeat the answer?
I think she froze up. I couldn't hear the question, and I think she said something to another.
Okay.
Ms. Ratliff, can you repeat the question?
Yes. To your knowledge, you don't know if the mother, Heaven, can work while she's at that facility and she's supposed to be in there for another year. Is that correct?
I'm not really sure of the programs that they have them do in the facility, but I could probably find out.
Okay. How are the kids insured for medical insurance?
They are recently now on Medicaid.
Okay, do you have any other health insurance available to them at a reasonable cost?
No, I don't.
Okay. And once Miss Williams, the mother, is released, what kind of visitation are you requesting at the court order for her?
Well, I would like her to come and see the children at least once or twice a month. Pretty much on like on a Sunday for a couple hours if possible, just so she could get to knowing them and reunite with them.
Okay, well, what time to what time on Sundays would work for you?
I believe like 2 to 4.
Okay, and are you requesting that be supervised by you or somebody you designate?
Yes, ma'am.
And should that continue until further order of the court, or should that continue for some period of time and then she can have longer unsupervised visitation?
I believe it'd be for some time until I could get back with the court and try to see if she could get a longer visitations and then gradually not be supervised.
Okay, so you're wanting that to continue until somebody comes back to court and changes it?
Yes.
And why do you feel such a long period of supervised visitation is necessary?
Only because due to the fact that the children have gone through a lot, and I believe that gradually in due time that she would get to know them and understand them and talk to them and understand what they've been through since both, all the parents have been absent in their life. So I feel that getting to reunite and knowing them as they've gotten older would help to gradually increase the visitations to her to be around them a lot longer.
When's the last time she's seen the children?
We took them about a couple months ago to a church intervention that they had. We are allowed to go to church, and she's there to see them during the church hours. It was an hour and a half during the church time, and they got to see her and talk to her, hugs and tears and stuff. So I seen a lot of pain, and I don't want them to go through that and not gradually understand that she needed that time away from them, and she needs to understand that they need to know her a little bit better since they were a little younger, since she had left and she was absent out of their life.
Okay. When's the last time they've had like a steady ongoing relationship where they would see their mother consistently?
Oh, I believe they were maybe let's see, about 7, 8 years old.
Okay, and what kind of issues does Heaven have that has landed her, which caused her to be incarcerated and things like that?
I feel that she made bad choices in her life. She realizes now that that's not the way to go. I'm hoping and praying that she gets the help that she needs now that she's in this facility, and she can accomplish her lifestyle more and do better for herself and the children.
Okay, but what kind of issues did she have? Was it drug issues or what was it?
Yeah, I think it was more drug issues, but it landed in depression also. So she was in between of all of things.
Okay. Now, you've had the children for quite some time, and during some of that time, Heaven's been incarcerated, and we've come up with a retroactive judgment for 4 years back child support minus the months that she's been incarcerated, of $7,020. Are you requesting at the court order retroactive child support in that amount?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. During the time you've had the children, has Heaven ever given you any money for support of the children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else you need to tell the court regarding any of these issues I haven't asked you about?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the state passes the witness.
Mr. Franklin, do you have any questions of Ms. Catano about what she just testified to?
It's going to be hard for me to put them in question form, but I guess my first question would be is like, why hasn't there been any communication like there was in the past on top of visitation set up between me and her for me to speak to the kids? I guess a second question would also
Okay,
be
hold
is,
on, hold on.
okay, go ahead.
All right. Ms. Catano,
Okay, for the visitations, that was to be court ordered since Iowa did not court order visitations, and for him to be able to come down to see the children would have been the issue. Communication was at due time. They had communicated with him through Facebook and FaceTimed him. He had no longer been calling or talking to them. He had also said that he was going to send items to the kids that weren't sent, and they would get upset at the time. I mean, I don't have an issue with him communicating with the kids or had in the past. That was in between him and the children. So I let them have their time. It was not an issue. So with that being said, I'm on Facebook, and I had befriended him, and I let them. So
okay.
in between that time, I don't know where he dropped off and didn't communicate with the children.
Any other questions, Mr. Franklin?
Yes, because none of all that's not true. My next question would be, if that is the case, why was I blocked after so much time? Because there was a point in time, as he said, that I was speaking to the children, and then there'd be points in times where all of a sudden I'd be blocked, or when I would call,
Okay, all right.
the calls wasn't getting
Mr.
through
Franklin?
and stuff like that. So like I'm trying to, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, at this time, it sounds like you're trying to testify, and I'm not sure those are any issues I'm going to be able to resolve today regarding your visitation with the children because you are out of state, and this is an action addressing conservatorship between the grandmother and the mother.
Okay, well, for my last question, if I may, is
Okay.
there a way that she can exchange information so that I may continue to talk to the kids so that we can get this done the right way?
That, Ms. Catano, I mean, that's going to be up to Ms. Catano. That's also not something the court can order. I think she's given you an avenue to contact her through Facebook.
And as I said, she's blocked me at a point in time with no valid reasoning. That's why I'm trying to get it all out there so that it'd be more understood.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ratliff, any other questions of this witness?
Now, from this witness, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, the state briefly calls Keon Franklin.
Will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, you can lower your hand. You may proceed, Ms. Ratliff.
Sir, would you please state your name?
Keon Dwayne Franklin.
And are you the biological father of these two children that are currently living with Michelle Catano?
Yes.
Okay, and there's an order out of Iowa that ordered you to pay support for the children, correct?
Correct.
And are you still living in the state of Iowa?
Correct.
Did the mother, Heaven Williams, have a protective or restraining order against you in the past?
In the past, but I want to say a few years ago it expired.
Okay. Okay. The state has nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Catano, do you have any questions of Mr. Franklin?
Other than that, I would rather take it up with AG office in Iowa. I will call and contact them and let them handle the visitations and the contact numbers to where he can have visitations for his children, and that he would be able to contact them through telephone and be able to talk to them. I have no issues with that. So we'll get with them and we'll see if they can get with him and contact him and have them court order a visitations or have some kind of resolvement so where he can have contact with his two children.
Okay, Ms. Ratliff.
Mr. Franklin, Is there any reason? Well, no, never mind, Your Honor. I don't have any further questions.
Okay. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
All right, the state is rested. That means they have no further evidence, no further testimony. Ms. Catano, do you have any further testimony?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Franklin, do you have any further testimony?
Not really.
Okay. Close, Ms. Ratliff?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would request that the court find that the mother, Heaven Williams, has a duty to support the children, that the court appoint Ms. Catano, the person to have the right to determine the children's primary residence without geographic restriction, that the court make the appropriate conservatorship and possession orders for Heaven Williams based on Ms. Catano's testimony. The state requests that the court grant a non-disclosure finding of Ms. Michelle Catano's and Ms. Williams' personal information. That the court order the grandmother, Ms. Catano, to continue to apply to enroll the children in a government health plan, and that the court order Heaven Williams, the mother, to pay $234 a month child support with a step-down amount of $182 once the first child emancipates, to begin the 1st of April 2025, and that is based on the minimum wage presumption, taking into account that she does have 2 other minor children. The state requests that the court order Ms. Williams to pay $25 a month medical support beginning the 1st of April of 2025. The state also requests that the court grant a retroactive child support judgment in the amount of $7,020 as of today's date, and that was calculated based on 4 years of retroactive support based on minimum wage minus the months that Ms. Williams was incarcerated. The state requests that that be ordered to be paid at $50 a month beginning the 1st of April 2025. And that Ms. Williams be ordered to pay court costs as billed by the Baylor County District Clerk within 90 days of her release from incarceration. And that the court make the appropriate possession orders for Ms. Williams.
Okay, Ms. Catano, are you requesting anything other than what the state has requested?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Franklin, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
What is the question for me again? I'm sorry.
Do you have any other requests other than those announced by the state?
Yeah, other than the, visitation and the up and line of communication to be able to, keep up with their livelihoods. I think that's just about it right now. Anything else I would have to request of people and attorney.
Okay. All right. I do find that an order exists for Mr. Franklin to pay support to Ms. Catano, that the amounts have been redirected to Ms. Catano. Texas is the court of jurisdiction in which any conservatorship or possession and access would need to be heard regarding Mr. Franklin and Ms. Catano. I do find that Ms. Williams is the mother of the child and has a duty to support the children. I will order Ms. Catano, the sole managing conservator of the children, with Ms. Williams being a possessory conservator. I will order, and that is that Ms. Catano will be the conservator with the exclusive right to determine the primary residence of the children without regard to geographic location. I will order a non-disclosure for Ms. Catano and Ms. Williams. I will order supervised possession and access to be conducted for Ms. Williams to have visitation or possession of the children on the 1st and 3rd Sunday of the month from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. To be and those periods of possession be supervised by Ms. Catano. I also order that Ms. Catano and Ms. Williams can exercise any type of visitation as long as it is agreed to by the parties. I order Ms. Catano to maintain health insurance through a government health insurance program. Because Ms. Williams is in a facility, immediately transitioned from incarceration, and I've not heard any evidence of actual income or her ability to earn, I'm not going to set current child support or current medical support. So both of those will be zero beginning April 1st, 2025. I will grant the retroactive child support judgment of $7,020 with Ms. Williams paying $50 per month towards that judgment beginning April 1st, 2025. I will waive court costs due to Ms. Williams' current situation and being in the facility and trying to, and will be in the facility for the next, or at least a year. And does that address all of the issues, Ms. Ratliff?
Believe so, Your Honor.
Any party can ask for a new hearing on any of the issues that I've ruled on today by filing a trial de novo with the Baylor County District Clerk's Office within the next 3 days. It must be in writing. It must specify the portion of my ruling in which a new hearing is being requested, and notice must go out to the parties on the case. Ms. Ratliff will draft the order, submit it to me for review, and then copies will go out to each of you. Thank you for being here today. That concludes today's hearing, and you're free to disconnect from the Zoom meeting.